Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Biodiversity and Conservation. I am Subhalakshmi Rao from Ambika Prasad Research Foundation, India. We are continuing the UGC NET examination series for environmental science subject, and this is 20th part of Unit 3 Environmental Biology. Today we are going to talk about a new concept, that is ecotone. Now, ecotone is an important boundary concept in ecology. The biosphere is characterized by a series of gradients or zones of physical factors like temperature gradients, that is from the Arctic to the tropics, and moisture gradients from wet to dry along major weather systems, etc. So the environmental conditions, including the organisms adapted to these conditions, change gradually along a gradient, but often there are points of abrupt change, which is known as ecotones. An ecotone is created by the juxtaposition of different habitats or ecosystem types. It is a border zone where ecological systems meet and mingle, sometimes forming a new or different community of species. The concept assumes the existence of active interaction between two or more ecosystems, which results in the ecotone having properties that do not exist in either of the adjacent ecosystems. Like in this picture, you can see the first part is the deciduous forest ecosystem, and the last part is the grassland ecosystem, and the portion in between them is the transition zone, and it is considered as grassland forest ecotone, which have some characters from both, but also some new characters that are absent in the other two ecosystems. So it is ecotone can be said as ecologies that are in tension. So it is considered a place where two major communities meet and blend together. Um, so it is a transition zone between two adjacent ecological communities, and this is an actually unique feature where there are numerous kinds of organisms that are not found in either communities are found there. Like mangroves, they serve as ecotone between the land and the sea, because during the high tides they are partially submerged in water, and at the low tides they are exposed, so they are present in the land, we can say. There are some causes that help the production of these ecotones. There are some natural factors and some man-made factors. Natural factors include the abiotic factors like soil composition, pH, soil salinity, soil mineral content, and some topographic and meteorological transition zones. So these factors affect um, the ecotone or the formation of ecotone, and some anthropogenic or man-made factors like forest clearing, pollution within a given area, overdrafting of groundwater in a well-defined locality, or some controlled burning. These may also cause a particular type of ecotone. So there are two conditions that favor the formation of traditional community ecotones, like the steep gradients in physical environmental variables, like topography and climate. They directly affect the ecological processes and the diversity of different organisms, and threshold or to the gradual changes in the gradients in the physical environment also cause large changes in ecosystem distribution of species. Now, there are some ways to classify ecotones. So, there are mainly three classification systems. First one is Dobben-Meyer's ecotone classification. Here, it is the earliest type of classification where there are mainly four major types. First one is abrupt transition ecotone. This is caused by discontinuities in an environmental gradient, the result of sudden changes in environmental conditions such as soil type and their drainage systems. Next one is blending ecotone. It is because of the gradual blending of two or more adjacent vegetation types due to smooth environmental gradients. Now, next one is the mosaic ecotone. It appears where islands and peninsulas of each community extend into the other. Uh, these may be result of local heterogeneity or microclimate. And last one is the sharp transition ecotone. It is because of the biotic interactions among organisms, particularly competition. Uh, Even if the environmental gradients like climatic conditions and topography are smooth. Next is Holland's scheme. Um, Taking into account the fact that ecotones may be created by natural or human-induced interactions, they are of four types, but mainly they depend on human disturbances or natural processes. So those ecosystems which are created and maintained by human disturbance regimes are of one type. Next type is ecotones that are created and maintained by natural processes. Next one is the ecotones which are produced by natural processes but maintained by human activity. And last one is the ecotones that are created by human activity but are maintained by natural processes. And the last type of classification is ecotone hierarchy. Here, according to the hierarchy of different levels of ecotones, there are five types like biome ecotone, landscape ecotone, patch ecotone, population ecotone, and individual ecotone. Here, the interactions at each level of the ecotone, there are different factors that are involved in these. In case of biome ecotone, the factors that are involved are climate and topography. In case of landscape ecotone, the weather, topography, and soil characteristics plays a major role. In case of patch ecotone, soil characteristics, biological vectors, species interactions, microtopography, and microclimatology. All these play a major role here. And in case of population ecotone, intraspecies interactions, um, some physiological controls, some population genetics, they all play a major role. And in case of individual ecotone, intraspecific interactions, some soil chemistry, soil fauna, soil microflora, etc. all play a major role in this. Now, why we are studying these ecotone concept? So they may have some significance, and they are. Ecotones are the centers of evolutionary novelty. Novelty means something new that maintain evolutionary processes where Peripatric or sympatric speciation occurs. Peripatric speciation involves where the origin of different species are different, but their functions are same. Means their speciation occurs based on the functional attributes of their body. And in case of sympatric speciation, um, the species speciation occurs from a single point, and the origin may be same, but the functions that um, specify each species may be different. And ecotone are the natural laboratories where evolutionary processes and barriers to gene flow can be examined, and they can also serve as useful models for understanding, monitoring, and predicting the response of different individuals or populations or communities on the basis of the changing environments. So they therefore serve as early warning indicators or detectors of global climate changes through tracking the changes in the ecotone locations over time. So there is very much importance of ecotones in our in the conservation of biodiversity, because due to changes there is either mass extinction or disturbances in the population of many species. So to control that, ecotone study is an important factor. Thank you. This is all from me today.